Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA stock. Let's go over what is happening with the stock, what we can expect moving forward, and all of that good stuff. So as per usual, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And of course, my membership section on YouTube is live. That link is down below for just $2.99 a month. You can access to all my intraday thoughts, posts, updates, technical analysis, options flow, etc. on Tesla, actually, and other stocks, broader market as well, or for $4.99 a month. You can access to all of that, plus NVIDIA daily updates as well that I share with my members every single day. So all that being said and done, let's jump into it. NVIDIA with a pretty phenomenal day today, honestly, moving up only 2.5%, roughly we'll say, but relative to the market, pretty impressive outperformance for the most part, with the market being down 1% and NVIDIA being up almost 2.5%. Not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. Very respectable outperformance. Now, let's talk about what happened today, because today, in my opinion, was a very, very pivotal, potentially, day. Now, obviously, there's always risk, but looking strictly at the chart and strictly at what is happening, it's looking pretty bullish. Why is it looking pretty bullish? Well, NVIDIA actually came up really quickly to my $130 target. Remember how I said if we break out of this wedge, or well, I guess it is technically a massive wedge, but this top trend line, we probably, the first target is 130, right? That's the first target, 130. I would expect a rejection from there, which we did get. We, lost maybe like almost half of the day's gains. But nonetheless, it's still looking pretty good because we closed above the trend line. That's very, very important. And I'll give you what I personally want to see next overall happen, not necessarily tomorrow, but for the next, could be tomorrow, could be another week. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'll give you my thought process on how I think the stock in a healthy way should and can behave for a move higher. So let's talk about it, right? NVIDIA, right? It came above the trend line, and it closed above it. That's very bullish. It also closed above the recent lower high, also bullish. And it closed, not only went above it, it actually closed above it. Those are very good signs. Now, it is a little getting, it's getting a little bit overextended. You can see on the RSI, so that, there's some signs there that, maybe it's not going to go too much higher just yet, but the structure is what's important here. And the structure after today's move looks actually pretty good. This is the kind of structure I like to see. So what's the next thing I want to see for NVIDIA overall, right? To make a nice, healthy move and potentially go even higher, potentially even go to all-time highs, right? What do I want to see? Well, pretty much I want to see something like this, which we did already, which I mentioned with my members somewhere. If I'll find it, it's somewhere here. I think it was this one here. Yeah, pretty much like this, which I mentioned it earlier as well. Yeah, so I was talking about it here and here, but pretty much, right, I moved back up like this, which is good, which is kind of what I was saying before. If we do break above, we want to see it move up to 130 next. That's the pivot point. We got rejected. Now, I want to see it come back down. And I want to see it come back down. And this is the most important part. This is the part that makes it or breaks it. Because you can get, this could still in theory be a false breakout, which would be very, very bearish. Which would be a massive bull trap and very bearish. I don't think it will be, and I never expect it to be, but there's always that risk. However, with that being said, I want to see NVIDIA make its way back down somewhere to around 125, 124, something like that. I want to see it move back down there at some point. I don't know when. And I want to see it hold. This is the most important part. It needs to hold. Depending on when it happens, it could even be as low as 123. It really just depends on how long it wants to come back down to retest this trend line breakout. Because again, it did finally break out. This was a massive area of resistance, constant lower highs, constant rejection, right? Over and over and over and over until today. That's a very good bullish trend change. So very commonly, it's expected essentially at some point or another to come back down and retest that. And you want to make sure and confirm the fact that that area that was a massive resistance, that was forcing NVIDIA to make lower highs constantly, is now a support. And as long as that happens, as long as we turn this area, again, 125, 124, maybe even 123, that 2-3-ish dollar point range, as long as that area now turns back into support and we bounce from there and we don't just collapse back under, and pretty much you're seeing the buying pressure come in as we're entering that rough territory, that's where I'll be convinced the fact that this move is ready to go. And at the very least, we'll come back up to retest 130. But ultimately, as long as that holds, the bullish move with the way NVIDIA is setting up now, let me go ahead and erase this, would be something like this, right? Move up like this, which we just did, come back down, retest, and ultimately make our way higher. We have officially changed the trends off of today's candle. Again, I want to make it clear, there always is a risk. This can be a bull trap. There's absolutely a possibility of that and a false breakout. But again, I don't expect it to be. that's one of those things where I only expect it to be once proven that it is, right? You never want to expect those things because they're pretty unlikely. They don't happen very often, but they can happen. So again, NVIDIA come back down some point. I don't know when. It could be tomorrow, could be later this week. Maybe it'll be next week. I don't know. But I want to see a retest of this trend line. I want to see it turn back into support, and I want to see buyers step in. And once I get that confirmation, I think NVIDIA, I don't see why it wouldn't go ultimately higher, at least to about 135. But honestly, retesting all-time highs is probably my main target. That'll be my main target moving into, at the very least, end of November. I would say I really would be surprised if sometime end of November to December, NVIDIA is not back at all-time highs, assuming that retest holds, assuming nothing goes wrong and everything goes according to plan, which again, maybe it won't. But assuming it goes according to plan, I think it's looking pretty damn good, man. Like that's pretty much what I'll be looking for to re-enter a fresh position. And I'll probably even sell more cash secured puts actually even lower, because I not only would expect this to hold, so I'll have shares to ride up, but just in case it takes a bit longer to get a true bounce from here and make our way back higher, those cash secured puts will make money while the stock potentially goes sideways. That'll be my rough game plan moving forward. I'll just be patiently waiting for that moment to strike. Again, no FOMO, no rush. If I miss it and it goes higher, no problem. There's a lot of other stocks to trade. But all that being said and done, at the moment, so far so good. It's looking bullish. The structure is phenomenal. This is exactly more or less what I wanted to see. Step one essentially is done. Breakout and close above. Step one. Step two, come back down. Turn that old resistance into new support. Confirm the fact that it has now turned into new support. That's a step two. Arguably probably more important than step one, because if again, I want to make it clear. If this becomes a massive bull trap, if this is a massive false breakouts, and if NVIDIA comes back and gaps down or for whatever reason goes back below the trend line, I would view this overall move up here to be exceptionally bearish, like extremely bearish. And I would almost be guaranteed NVIDIA is coming back down to 108 to 110. Again, huge if. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if you're entering these kind of trades, that should always be in the back of your mind as a potential catalyst, or not catalyst, but potential scenario. At least in my mind it is. That's just the way I like to think about it, because there's always a risk. No matter how good a chart looks, no matter how amazing the setup can be, there's always a risk, and the market will always find a way when it wants to screw with you. You have to always remember that. That's just kind of how it operates. But yeah, all in all, I think NVIDIA is looking great. In terms of options flow, NVIDIA, very bullish, nice, very respectable, confirmed 60 million bullish in flow on Black Box over here. On Cheddar Flow, both great option services if you're on options trader. I have a link to both of them below with a discount code. Definitely check it out if you're interested. NVIDIA, for the most part, nice bullish flow today. Towards the end of the day, definitely seeing some bearish flow come in. So, again, some bears are clearly stepping in, and they're probably expecting NVIDIA to also make its way back down to 124, 123, 125, somewhere around that $2-3 range, right? But overall, the bullish flow was there, absolutely. Now, again, the next step is, can we turn that area back into support? That's what I'll be eyeballing moving forward. And yeah, let's just see how it goes. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.